Hey, what's going on, my Disney friends? It's Matt with the DPI podcast, and it's Tuesday, June the 28th, and we are live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch tonight for the last time. Next week, we will only be on Twitch and YouTube. So if you are watching us over on one of those other channels right now, just be aware that we're going to the two channels and that's it. That's all Restream's going to allow. But as soon as we have the link for each show, we will post it over on the Facebook page. That way you guys know where to go to check us out. If you're new to either YouTube or Twitch, you can pick either one. It's going to be the same feed. You're going to see the same chat. You're going to see everything basically the same. The YouTube chatters will chat on YouTube. The Twitch chatters will chat on Twitch, but I'll be able to see both and I'll be able to respond to both through our chat bot that we've got on OBS. So I'll be able to stay up to date with all of you guys and really get you to where we're in a good spot. So huge show tonight. Yeah, lots of huges because Disney did halfway to the holidays last week. We talked about it a little bit on Tuesday, and then Disney decided to drop all kinds of news on us in the last couple of days. So the very merry party and all that is going to take a back seat to some of the news that came out in the last couple of days. Also, we've got Peter from Princesses and the Mouse Disney Travel coming on tonight. We're going to talk some travel news with him. We're also going to talk about the trip that he just took. He was able to do some things he's never done at the parks before, so we're going to talk to him about that. And just as a forewarning, we are going to have a special podcast. So if you follow us on any of our podcast channels through Anchor, Amazon, Apple, anything like that, we're going to be doing a trip recap with one of our clients here in the next couple of weeks. They were first-time Disney visitors, and we're going to sit down, we're going to have a chat with them, and kind of talk to them about, see how their trip went. They just got back over the weekend, so really interested to see how their trip went. So let me get over to Peter with Princesses and the Mouse Disney Travel, and we will start talking some Disney news. How we doing, Peter?
Oh, doing pretty well. How are you?
I am doing well. So a lot of news. I really didn't have a whole lot of care on which direction we started the show off tonight. So what's kind of striking your fancy as far as Disney news in the last few days?
Well, I mean, you brought up Very Merry. Those tickets are going to go on sale here a little over a week, July 7th. Here was the surprising thing about that, and then if you want to weigh in, or I can talk about the other couple of things that have struck me. The last party is like the 22nd of December.
Yeah, and they've done that quite a bit because it's funny because when we went in 2019 and then also when we went in 2019 when we went to the party, or no, 2020 when we went to the parks, we actually just missed the last party, but we were there on Christmas Day. We normally hit the first party when we go in November.
Yeah, in early November. So anyway, I don't know. I remember one year that we went. I feel like we did one on like the 28th or something like that, or maybe not, but maybe I'm misremembering. So that's important news. Obviously, if you have a trip in the November, December time frame, Very Merry tickets are going on sale. And then on the other side of that, if if you're going in the fall break range, of course, the not so scary is already ready to go. Here's the Disney news that struck me the hardest. Chapek got a 3-year extension. That's, honestly, out of everything that's happened, I was like, are you really? Come on. Like,
well, here's the thing, and I kind of talked to Shannon about it while we were eating dinner before the show. I think Chapek has done a good job of not letting the boat just sink into the depths. When you think about the decisions that have been made, they've been more on a lower level. And I blame things like, especially like Walt Disney World, more on Jeff Volley than I do on Bob Chapek. So, yes, there's a direction from the top at some point, but I think a lot of these decisions are being made more park to park level and not necessarily all the way from the top. So, you know, yeah, the stock is down, but just a big I think it's big news because I don't think a lot of people that really follow and care about Disney wanted him back.
Yeah, I think that's the I think the general consensus. And when I was just down there last week, you know, you and I talk about this all the time, that you go a little bit more often, so your pace kind of slows down. You maybe have more conversations with more people that you necessarily wouldn't. And I heard from numerous people that, like, it's almost like the magic is, if you go for the first time, I'd be interested to hear, because I know of that Disney client you're talking about is your across the street neighbor. So it'll be interesting to hear, with them being their first time, if they, and I know it's still magical because I had another client that they just went in spring break, and I just booked them 2 days ago for Christmas because they want to be there for Christmas, you know. So
awesome.
Like, obviously they went down in spring break and the magic of the place bit them really hard. But like for us, we've mentioned this before on the show, people who have been going, you know, more than the last 3 years, there's like some magic missing. And a lot of that is due to the direction of the company, and yes, the individuals in charge of the park operations, you know, individually get to choose it. But at the same token, like, Disneyland and Disney World are headed very, very similar directions. And Disney World, like, 180'd their business model in terms of what's included versus what are they trying to nickel and dime you for. And Disney World was always like, you know, the sell was, yeah, you pay this, but look at all these things that you get. And now it's, you pay this, it's the same amount as it ever was, if not even more. Oh, and now you have to pay all those other things. So now you're like, an experience to Disney World is right on line with Kings Island and Cedar Point and Universal and everything else like that, where, oh, I can pay $100 to get in the park, but then I have to pay extra money if I want to be able to fully utilize my day. But to the same token, it's still cheaper because, you know, Universal charged $70 when I got them their Max Pass or whatever the heck it's called, and that wasn't even the full one. That was just like the one ride each one, and it was like $70. And Disney's still rolling off at $15 a day plus. You know, let's put it this way: you could park hop and you could get the big ride in Magic Kingdom, the big ride in Epcot, and the $15 Genie Plus, and you're still less than what Universal's charging you for the day.
Yeah. I think you have to take that a little bit into consideration, but I see where you're going. The one thing that the Disney parks have on basically everybody else, there are a couple exceptions right now, and you see other parks trying to emulate this on a smaller scale, of course. But the ability to be on site and have transportation or be able to walk to the park, you know, for that number of people right now, for World and even Land to an extent, because not only does Land have the 3 hotels that are part of Disneyland, but they've got so many hotels in within 3 or 4 blocks that are just walkable.
So does World. I mean, on top of the 20 whatever resorts that World has, there's a good solid, 15 more that are kind of on property but not on property and are
But
in this good neighborhood.
you see Universal starting to follow that model.
They are,
Cedar
they're
Point
building
has a
another
couple
one.
on site. Dollywood's putting up another one on site.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot more of these parks that are following that model and seeing the benefit of being able to have the guests stay on site, to be able to provide that transportation and really keep them within that bubble as much as they can.
And that is still, whenever people ask about, like, why do I stay on site? Well, I stay on site because I want to get on vacation, and then like you said, transportation. There's other benefits, right? 7 a.m. I'm able to start booking lightning lanes, and if you're off site, you don't get to do it until park, like rope drop, official park open time. And then it doesn't seem like a lot, but a 30-minute head start in a park is really like a 2-hour head start in a park.
It gets you into that first line, or maybe through the first ride line and to the second ride line.
Right. Jesse, Jesse and I, when we were down there, we rope dropped once. We went to Hollywood Studio. I was up early for something. I just had to get up and take care of something. And I was like, you know what? I'm up. I'm going to wake Jesse up. So we got to Hollywood Studios I think we got out of the Skyliner at like 7:55, 8 o'clock. Got into the park by like 8:10. Went straight in and out of Starbucks with no line. Got over to Toy Story. Rode Slinky Dog Dash by. I think we were getting off of it kind of like right as the park opened. But if we would have hightailed a little bit quicker, we probably could have been another 10 minutes up the line. But that's a huge advantage because everybody else behind us, right, that didn't stay on site, when the park opened at 9 o'clock and they were allowed in, like you're talking, there's already a 80, 90-minute line for Slinky Dog Dash.
Yeah.
So I'm an hour and a half ahead of them.
Yeah, and I think that's the big deal is, if you use that to your advantage and you're able to, even if you do it like a Midway Mania, get through Midway Mania and then get into that Slinky Dog Dash line at 30 minutes or at 40 minutes instead of at 80 minutes, it's a huge deal. I mean, you knock out 2 of the big rides in that park, and you can basically do that with every park except for Epcot. I think Epcot's the hardest park to take advantage of that because the rides are so spread out, especially if you're coming in from the back. It's really tough to do it that way.
Yeah, if you come in from the World Showcase entrance, you basically your advantage is you get to go ride Remy.
Yeah.
But if you come in from the front, right? I don't know, test track over to Soarin' or yeah.
Okay, so let's jump in. Let's jump into the Christmas party because we did get basically all the news on the Christmas parties. And we got Christmas parties at 4 parks. So not only do we have the Christmas parties at World and Land in the United States, we also got the parties in Paris and in Shanghai. Hong Kong was the 4th park that had listed parties. So lots of stuff came out last week. You can go over on Disney Parks blog if you want to see everything. But basically what we got was the favorites coming back. So Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party is going to return. Parade, fireworks, show, the cookie stroll. Really the biggest change was Guardians of the Galaxy is going to get a holiday overlay. That was the biggest change that I saw. So the dates, November 8th through December 22nd, pretty standard as they've been the last few years. Ticket prices, $149 to $199 per person. Really what this gets you is you get entrance into the park at 4 p.m. It acts as a park reservation for Magic Kingdom that night. So what I've seen a lot of people do is use this as one of their park days instead of, having a park day plus this on top of it. They can relax at their hotel for a little while, and it just, with that price, you almost have to treat it like that anymore. Shannon, I hear you. Shannon says she lives for the cookie stroll. When we were there for Christmas, we actually completed the Epcot one, which was pretty awesome. We'd never done that before. That was really cool. Real quick, M. Odom, great talking with you over on YouTube. Awesome that you guys got to be part of the parade in March. She was with Poplar Bluff High School that marched at Magic Kingdom. I told her I think I've got her on tape because we taped all the bands on the GoPro, so I'm pretty sure we've got her on tape. So we'll get that posted. But yeah. Let's see. New in honor of 50th anniversary celebration, Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party attendees will discover 3 jolly new photo opportunities. Guests will also receive a special 50th anniversary commemorative keepsake themed for the holidays. It's a special map. No, I don't know what it is. They didn't say what it was. Oh, the other big thing was Jingle Bam Jingle Bash isn't coming back. So, anything that kind of stuck out to you for Very Merry?
No, I'm just, my general thought is I'm just glad, because I went to Boo Bash last year and it was okay. It was okay. I'm just very glad that the Not So Scary and the Very Merry are back. And I think we can agree that while there are modifications, there's always modifications and changes year after year. But it's really exciting that we can basically say that they're kind of like back to normal, that those parties are back to normal, which is great.
Yes.
Because those parties are just a ton of fun. Matt kind of talked about some of the on top of that, there's like exclusive merchandise and pins and stuff that you can get during those parties. It's just a really fun experience. There's a lot of unique menu items during the parties that you can get in select locations throughout the park. Different quick service stands will have different things. So it's important that if you go to the parties that you immediately grab that map. Space Mountain is always something that you want to do at either party.
Yes.
Because it is a great experience. In Halloween, it's pitch black and rock music. And then in Christmas, it's just green and red everywhere and Mannheim Steamroller blasted. Like, it's absolutely awesome. Jingle Mountain is just wonderful. So not really anything else to talk about that stuff. Good details that you gave.
So tickets do go on sale next Thursday, July the 7th. I know somebody's birthday that's that day, but you aren't able to get me that trip.
What?
It's sold out before it went on to the general public.
Oh, yeah.
$110,000 Disney vacation, visit all the theme parks, sold out before it got to the general public. So the Homeowners Association of Golden Oak is going to have a fantastic trip. But yeah. Other news from around the parks. Narcoossee's refurbishment has been delayed. It's going to be stay closed until 2023. Narcoossee's is over in the Grand Floridian. It is one of Shannon and I's favorite spots to go on an adult trip. Really good menu, and they are retheming it to Mary Poppins. So
wait, Yondu Mary Poppins or regular Mary Poppins?
I think it's regular Mary Poppins.
Could you imagine just Yondu everywhere? I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
Disney Enchantment. If you go into the park here in the next couple of weeks, you're going to get a double dose of Enchantment. They are going to do the show at 9:20 and 11 p.m. Select nights in July. What was the 10th through the 24th? I think it's 2 weeks they're going to do it. So yeah. So if you like Enchantment, there you go.
That's a great idea for families with kids to watch it and go, and then the people that normally watch it and then run out the park to be able to kind of run out the park and then come watch it. So
yeah,
I think that's a great idea. They should do that. And I hope that this is like a dry run for like doing that. I mean, I feel they should be doing that every spring break, fall break, and holiday season, be running the doubles.
I don't know about the doubles. I'm not a big fan of the double full shows, but I did miss the Kiss Goodnight. That was always a cool thing at Magic Kingdom. It wasn't a full fireworks show, but it was always a projection thing on the castle, and then you had
11:15ish.
Yeah, and it was just a cool thing to kind of close out the day, get everybody over to Main Street, and then walk out of the park.
Yeah.
Stay at Magic Kingdom, and we've got 2 years after Splash Mountain replacement announced. Disney promises more info this week. So the rumor is that the voice acting has already been done for this. So they've already got the voice tracks laid for the new ride, and that it's going to open in 2024. That's the big rumor that's out there right now. We'll see if we get anything solid this week. I think we'll get an opening time frame probably at D23. So the parks panel is September 11th. So I would think we would get the better details then.
Yeah, I bet this week we kind of get like a time frame. Like we're going to be aiming for closing around here, opening around here. But I'll bet at D23, this will be kind of one of the big major hype videos that they play.
Yeah.
Of like, the artist footage or the Imagineer mock-ups and
the artist rendering stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and like a 3D ride visualization type of thing.
The new frog logs that you're gonna ride in through the.
They literally can use the exact same logs and just put a frog figurine where
the frog logs. Yeah,
that's all you gotta do. Just take off the rabbit, put on a frog, and boom, we got that part done.
3 weeks away from the opening of Star Wars Launch Bay, and Disney announced that the character meet and greets will be part of the Lightning Lane program. So 3 characters over there. 2 of them are going to be part of the Lightning Lane, so you get to meet BB-8, Darth Vader, and Chewbacca. Chewie and Darth Vader are going to be Lightning Lane options for you. Have you seen the finale of Obi-Wan?
Oh yeah.
I just want a voice emulator for that scene.
I want a season 2.
there is a season 2.
I know.
Obi-Wan is coming back for season 2. But I want that voice. That was such a cool scene. If you haven't seen it, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but you just got to watch it. It's unbelievable.
It really was. Hayden Christensen did amazing.
Yes.
In that scene. Because I know what scene you're talking about for sure.
What else do we
got? Hit me with more news.
What's that?
Hit me with more news. What else you got?
Disney cancels plans for Disney Springs Brightline train station.
Yeah, they did. They pulled out of the contract on that.
So they didn't necessarily pull out of the contract. They basically said we don't want the train on property.
Yeah. So. Okay. Well, you say that's not pulling. I don't know if they were ever really in a contract or anything like that with them, but
yeah,
that's a big. It's really interesting. Because the other thing that's happening right now is minivans are coming back within the next week, and
tomorrow.
Yeah, we saw them everywhere, and they have so many types. They have so many different types now. They have like some transit style vehicles. Like the bigger seats, 8 passengers type of thing, and then they have tons of Suburbans, and. They look great because they were everywhere running their training runs and everything else like that the whole time we were down there. That was cool to see. So plus between Mears Connect and then that that steam train one that you and I know we talked about it. I'm forgetting the name of the company.
The Sunshine
Connection.
Connection.
Sunshine Express or something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah. So I saw tons of those buses dropping off. So that service is up and running strong. So I'm wondering if Disney was sort of like, why muddy the waters between, because let's be honest, if that train stopped at Disney Springs,
It's a viable option.
yeah, and it would essentially, there's no way Mears Connect and Sunshine Express and Minivans and Uber, like, I feel like that would draw a tremendous amount of business.
Yeah.
To just be able to go jump on that train, ride it.
It would by far be the cheapest option.
Most likely. Yeah. Like that was the thing. We Ubered both ways because I could control my own schedule. I literally got off my plane. We do carry-ons. And so I got off my plane, and as I was docking on the monorail coming into the main hub, I clicked order Uber, and it was waiting outside for me by the time I could walk. Yeah. And it was like $40 in comparison to, it would have cost me $35 after tax going with Mears Connect.
Yeah.
So.
No, I completely understand. As far as minivans, since you brought that up, we got some idea on the pricing, and it's really not different if you remember what it was before. Most rides are from the $20 to $40 range, and basically hanging out in that $35 to $40 range. If you hit peak times, they're going to go up. If you're in the off times, they're going to go down. But
it's basically lift prices plus $5 to $8.
Yeah.
Like the lift, a $12 lift is going to be $20 on a minivan.
Exactly. Yeah.
So.
But the nice thing about minivans is if you do have kids, especially small kids, they've got car seats. So if you need a booster or if you need a full car seat, they all have the car seats.
That is true.
I know that was one thing with my neighbors going, that they were asking, hey, should we take our car seat with us? And I was like, it's really kind of up to you. None of the Lyft drivers are going to mandate you have a car seat in the car. You're basically going to put the kid between two parents in the back.
Yeah.
So the update today on the Brightline thing was there's not going to be a Disney Springs station, but there might be one that's adjacent to Disney that might be close enough to where you could still take it close to the parks and then Uber in from there. So still maybe an option. 2025 I think is when they're talking about this being completed to Tampa. No. Yeah, to Tampa is the direction it's going. So we'll see.
And you can see all that construction kind of leaving Orlando International and heading down towards the southwest.
Beginning August 8th, Disneyland Resort guests will be able to enjoy early entry 30 minutes prior to the park's opening each day, daily, to enjoy select attractions, dining, and shopping. That's basically what World does right now. Just Land is going to be able to do it. Oh, man, how did this slip my mind? Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique.
Oh, yeah.
Opening August the 25th. So that's going to be both parks, World and Land. Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutiques are going to be opening. Now, half the ones outside of the parks already opened, like the one that was in the Grand Floridian, the one that's in Disney Springs. Have those already opened?
No, none of. I think they're all opening on that August 25th date. If any of them are open, it's Disney Springs is definitely not open, but maybe Grand Floridian, like just for Grand Floridian guests.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm seeing if I can. Yeah, it says August 25th. The Disney Springs will be August 25th. It says closed. Let's see if I can find Grand Floridian. This one. Nothing about the Grand Floridian one. The only two that I'm finding are the Springs. I wonder. So it doesn't look like it's back, and I don't know
Okay.
if it will be back or not. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, the Disney Springs and Magic Kingdom both say closed. So they're going to both be coming back August 25th. Just pulled that up real quick.
Sounds good.
We got our countdown.
Addie's done Bippity Boppity, hasn't she?
Yes, she has.
Allie's done it, and she's done the character couture at Ivy Trellis. So both of those really cool. Character couture at Ivy Trellis Salon. Well, Ivy Trellis isn't there. That's what they turned into the Bippity Boppity Boutique at Grand Floridian.
Yeah. So I don't know if I don't know. So, hey, we got 9 minutes. What do you want to talk about?
Your trip. How was Guardians?
I wrote it 6 times.
That's it?
Yep. Hey, what do you mean that's it? It took effort. I did something that I've never, ever done before. I paid for lightning lanes for Guardians.
Okay.
Yep. So I wrote it Friday. I paid for a lightning lane on Saturday because I didn't have a reservation to that park. I didn't ride it Sunday. On Monday, I paid for a lightning lane and I was doing the deluxe resort guest, so I got the late night, the 6 p.m. Virtual queue.
Yeah.
And then on Tuesday, I got the virtual queue in the morning and paid for a lightning lane. So once Friday, once Saturday, twice Monday, twice Tuesday. The ride is amazing. I'm not going to spoil it. I did take a ride video of it a couple of times. The best way, if you have been to Universal and ridden Escape from Gringotts, you can get a sense of the ride vehicles. And then from there, I will say it is Seven Dwarves meets Space Mountain.
Okay.
In terms of, but in the Escape from Gringotts ride vehicles. So it's phenomenal. It was phenomenal. It really was. Which is why after riding it Friday, I was like, oh yeah, I'll pay for a lightning lane for this. Interesting thing about that is on Saturday, the lightning lane was $18 a piece, and on Monday and Tuesday, it was $15 a piece. So we had always kind of talked about it is a little bit variable, and I was able to see it firsthand that they are variable. And then this is news. I texted this to you. Did you mention this on Tuesday's show, the whole switch over in the...
Yeah, so when you sent that to me, so we had taped and then you had sent that to me, we have already talked about it on the show. But yeah, really the big
we got to
news,
retape.
Yeah. we could we could just leave it and I'm just gonna caption it. There's only one. At
the time of recording. Yeah, so that was pretty, which is good because a lot of Genie Plus people were upset they weren't getting their money's worth, and I think by doing this was a good step in the right direction to offer more and more important, like better rides into the Genie Plus service. So now it's just Flight of Passage at Animal Kingdom, Seven Dwarfs at Magic Kingdom, Guardians of the Galaxy at Epcot, and Rise of the Resistance at Hollywood Studios. Every other ride is part of the $15 Genie Plus that you can pay morning of. So it's important. What else did we do? Oh my gosh, it was great. We got back to Storybook dining, the Seven Dwarves Snow White meal at Wilderness Lodge. Phenomenal. We did that a couple months after it first started, and I happened to grab a reservation at 12:30 in the morning on the day we were going on Friday, and we went there Friday night, and I forgot It is a culinary experience like none other, mixed with a full character meal, which there are very, very few. Like, you have to choose one or the other. Do you want characters and okay food, or do you want phenomenal food and no
Yeah,
characters?
yeah.
You get both.
You have to have a really open palate for that place, because that was the one thing that really turned me off about that meal. Was I'm not really out there with my palate, and a lot of those flavors were a little outside of my range.
And I feel like I feel like it's changed a little bit then, because you went early on as well. Because
Yeah.
this time the food was remarkable, and I also felt like it was very, very, I don't know, accommodating,
Mainstream.
I guess. Yeah, it was. But I have eaten a lot of salmon in my life. I am a big salmon fan, and I had a top 3 salmon dish, and the only reason I don't say top 1 is because what if I remember a different one? Like, it was amazing. It really was. Went to California Grill, did the 50th dinner celebration. Server was terrible. Rest of the experience was fine. But let me caption this by saying our reservation was at 7. As our dessert got there, I looked at our server and said, I'm going out on the balcony to watch the fireworks. Dessert got there 2 hours and 15. We spent more time with an empty table than we did with food in front of us. And I don't blame the kitchen or anything else like that. It was 100%. He was not good. Like, straight. And I don't say that about many cast members. They're doing their best. They're doing great jobs. They're making magic. It was just bad.
We've had that meal, and we had a good server. That meal is unbelievable.
Right, but I should have been able to be signing the check at about 1:30 and grabbing a drink to go out to the balcony, not, oh yeah, let me leave my dessert on the table while I go watch the 18-minute fireworks show and then come back.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a bummer.
Did you keep your reservation at Nine Dragons?
I did. I went to Nine Dragons. Nine Dragons was good. Yeah, we had a 4.5-hour delay. We got to the airport at 4 a.m. for our 5:15 flight, and we ended up leaving at 9:45.
Yeah.
Because our pilot called in sick, so they then had to wake another pilot up, put him on a plane or as a passenger, and bring him to Indianapolis to fly our plane to Orlando. Bless you.
Thank you.
So that was adventurous. Outside of that, like Guardians is amazing. Flower and Garden Festival, it was like my 3rd time to it, but absolutely love that place. Outside of that, I went to Oga's 3 times. Just I cannot get enough of sitting at Oga's and having drinks. I really can't.
It's something we did it the first time. I did it with you, and then every time we've gone back, we've gone now. So yeah. It's that good.
We had 2 so I had a reservation, and then we switched up our park days, and I managed to get another reservation on the day I had my park reservation, but I kept the other one because I could park hop. And then on the morning that we rope dropped, I found a 9 a.m. Oga's as we were skylinering over at 7:30 in the morning. I was like, heck yeah, I'll go to Oga's in an hour and a half.
Yeah. Nothing says Hollywood Studios like a fuzzy tauntaun at 9 a.m.
Amen. So, yeah, it was a great trip. It was a lot of fun. I did find the most dangerous. I had never been there before. I found the most dangerous spot in all of Disney World for my finances. It is the pro shop at the Palm Magnolia.
Yes.
Oh, that is a dangerous store. If you are a golfer,
yes,
steer clear of that store.
Well, Peter, you got less than a minute. Tell people where they can find you and book a trip.
Easiest way is on Facebook, Princess of the Mouse Disney Travel. Apparently, if you just type in Disney Travel Agent, I will be the top hit or towards the top. Would love to talk to you. Always happy to take my expertise and Matt's expertise and get it in someone else's hands to make your trip absolutely remarkable.
Well,
So maybe we could talk more next week about my trip.
yep. Good seeing you. Call Paris and figure out that ticket thing.
I will.
All right. I'll talk to you later, man.
All right. Bye, everyone.
All right. That was Peter with Princesses and the Mouse Disney Travel. Again, you can find him over on Facebook at PATM Disney Travel. Or you could just go down to the website. It's been scrolling down below us, but if you are listening on the podcast, it's patmdisneytravel.wixsite.com/planning to get some information on your next Disney vacation. That about does it for the show. Not a whole lot of news. He did bring up one thing that we didn't talk about while he was on, and it was about the Magnolia Golf Course. The Magnolia Golf Course is actually undergoing a huge renovation right now. So if you've played the Disney golf courses, they are phenomenal. But the Palm is getting a little bit of a makeover, or not the Palm, but the Magnolia is getting a little bit of a makeover. And it should open up next year at some point. So looking forward to getting my wrist fixed and then going back down there and playing some golf. Couple things to close up the show. John Tate, thank you for following over on YouTube. Really appreciate it. It is our followers and the people that like our show and interact with our content and that kind of stuff that keeps us going. So thank you very much for following us over there. He is subscriber number 134. I've got to change my little counter that comes up on our screen now. It's only at 125, so we've had nine new subscribers in the last month, so we very much appreciate that. If you haven't subscribed over on YouTube, go over and do that. Also, Allie's Adventures, my daughter's channel that she started a little bit ago, she is actually going to be merging with us, and we're going to be offering her videos on the DPI channel as well. So if you have seen any of the Allie's Adventures stuff, she's got a kids version of reviews of Discovery Cove and Disney Springs right now. She's going to do one for Disney Cruise Lines, Dollywood, a lot of different things. She's just going to talk about things inside and outside the parks that would be fun for kids to do. So if you're interested in that, definitely give that a look. It'll have its own playlist on our channel. I'll get it up on the main page here probably in the next week or so. But that's that. Thank you guys all for watching. I'm going to go ahead and get into the closing now, and you guys have a wonderful night. So Peter from Princesses and the Mouse Disney Travel joined us, and I don't know why I stumbled on that. Talking about news and his trip. He's going to be back. Easiest way to find us is over on Facebook at DPI Podcast. If you're over on Twitter and you like that a little bit better, at Disney Insights, YouTube, the Disney Planning Insights Podcast, Twitch, Matt_DPI, and Instagram at Princesses and the Mouse. Find us somewhere. Like us. We like you. Thank you guys all for watching, listening, everything that you do. Have a good week, and we will talk to you next week as we enter July.